Hi guys, today I will be talking about an interesting topic what most of the banks and almost no billionaire will tell you. Uh, Now what the topic is? The topic is about a top secret of asset protection, liability reduction and business entities. Now before going with any of the things, uh, have you heard sometimes like this billionaire filed a bankruptcy? Example, Anil Ambani, right? What happened to them after they filed bankruptcy? Why did they file bankruptcy? Does any of their assets are impacted for filing the bankruptcy? In most of the cases, the answer is no. So they know how to protect their assets, right? On the other hand, let's think about the general person uh, win the lottery multiple times. Can they protect their money or can they protect their assets? In most of the cases, no. That's why the study says multiple times millionaire became homeless. What's the reason behind this? That's the education. And that's what I'm gonna show you. What's the education the billionaires have for which their all of the assets are protected even after they file bankruptcy, and why a person winning lottery multiple times and they are still homeless. Okay, let's dive into this. Now, before going any of the entity structure, let me first talk about some of the common things I have seen understanding and learning the billionaires and from books and talking with some of the attorneys. One, they basically document their thing very well. They are very good at documentation. They hire companies for documentation. They hire bookkeepers for documentation. They hire all of the excellent attorneys for their legal advices in their business. They are very good at communicating with their team. Like if an attorney asks them a question, they basically respond very fast. Uh, they are very good at selling their product or services. They work with their attorneys and CPA for their liability reduction and asset protection. They also do their estate planning for getting rid of any probate process. So they think about if they become incapacitated or disabled, or let's say when they die, what will happen for their assets. They pre-plan all of those. This helps them getting their beneficiaries uh, without going into court for their probate process. And court doesn't need to determine who's gonna get all of those. They do all of the things in their estate planning. They work with their CPA like I said before, and they always work with third parties for doing their or working their things. That's because of couple things. One, they think about someone should be responsible for all of those. Second thing, they want to protect their liability. If anything happens, they work with the third party for solving this problem. So this problem is not with them fully. They also use third party uh, for the expenses they can deduct from their business and get a tax benefit. And at the end of the day, they own nothing. Now I will explain you with some of the entity or business structure over here how they own nothing and what they do with all of those things. Again, those are only for the demonstration purposes and for learning purposes. It's not any case specific for any legal advice. I'm not an attorney, not a CPA, not a financial advisor. So those are only for learning and demonstration purpose only. For your case specific reason, please talk to your attorney, CPA, and they will understand your case specific and provide you the suggestion or advice. Now, let's think about a billionaire is having couple businesses over here. For example, B1, B2. Over here, B2 is a parent company and owns, for example, B3 and B4, probably B4 business. Sometimes you'll see a parent company is having multiple businesses. There is a reason for this. And then they work with their attorney for setting up those businesses. Now, let's say, for example, this company B3 is borrowing a lot of money from bank. Their legal system they make is always B3 will be responsible for this borrowing money. It will not impact B2 or B1, and it will not impact this person. And for those entities, they work with attorney for determining the structure. But for understanding simplicity, let me explain this one with an LLC example. Let's say this LLC L2 is owning let's say 1,000 cars. 1,000 cars. And this business is set up for containing the assets of 5,000 cars. The goal is to rent out the car like enterprise is doing, or let's say Hertz is doing, renting the car for making money. Now, a car rental business may have a lot of potential liabilities, or the business may be vulnerable for a lot of lawsuits. So what they basically do, they never do the business from this entity or business or LLC. That's because if anyone sue this business, then all of their 1,000 cars will be vulnerable. So what they do, they basically lease those cars to another company or LLC, let's say L3, and L3 may have sub businesses for dividing and conquering their responsibility and task. But long story short, when this company leases those cars to this company become the registered owner. So they are basically registered owner and they are basically legal owner. Now, when this company does this business, and if anything goes wrong, if any lawsuits happen over here, can they basically get all of the cars? The answer is no, because this company does not own this car. This company is using the car, getting a lease from this company. Let me give you another example. So let's say you are leasing a car from Toyota Finance. If there is an accident or anything worst happen, and then if you are sued, is Toyota Finance is responsible for this? No, because they are not a registered owner, they are the legal owner. Meaning you as a registered owner, you are responsible for this. So it's not coming to the legal owner. So if for any reason this business is sued, what they will do, they will close this business and all of their cars or assets are protected. Again, this is just for demonstration only, a very simple example where they basically work with attorney and CPA together. So this attorney and this CPA work together in figuring out what structure work best for them, what structure work best for the tax specific cases. As you see, they completely make these businesses separated. Now, let's talk about this particular example again. If this business is, or any of the business is responsible or liable for anything, then maybe because of the entity structure like LLC, this person has limited liability, and that's why the LLC are structured for. So this person will have very limited liability. But how about the things comes from this flaw? Let me give you another particular example. Let's say I'm driving a car and then I hit somebody on the road and there are two fatalities. So in this particular cases, I am responsible, and if on the code it is decided I am responsible for this case, then if I own all of those businesses, then all of my businesses are vulnerable. So what they do is they work with their attorneys and CPA, and they make the owner of the businesses, they make the beneficiary as some trust. So the attorney may suggest like this business should be going into this trust, these three business may be going, beneficiary should be this trust. So anything happens, if this person is liable or for any reason this person need to file bankruptcy, it's not impacted over here. Someone from the manager or someone from the power of attorneys of those trusts will be taking those properties and businesses over here, and then he files bankruptcy, so nothing is impacted with his assets, and his beneficiaries like his child or anyone this person nominate will still have all of those. Now remember the other example I provided the very earlier. One person win lottery multiple times, they cannot protect their assets. So many different reasons, I'm not going into this, but what I mean, long story short, is if you make money and then if you are doing business, you need to protect your business, you need to reduce your liabilities, because no one will be going to sue a homeless person. If you are vulnerable or responsible for anything, aggressive attorneys will be trying to sue you to get the other assets or money you have. They are not going to sue a homeless person. That's why those learnings are most important over here. You can read these two of the books over here, Own Your Own Corporation and Legal Strategies for Everyone. Those are very basic books and you can learn a lot of the things what I talked about over here. But important point over here I want to close is, one, they own nothing and they make sure that all of assets are protected. Two of the things they very important to them, one is the cash flow and second is the system. Now cash flow is what money they are getting into their pocket, not in terms of what money they are getting out of their pocket. And then what system they are working in, those are the things are very important to them. What least important to them is what product they are working with and what service they are providing. By no means I'm saying they provide the less service. What I mean is basically they of course do their best to provide the quality service and quality product, but to them the most important thing is cash flow and system. Now let's say for example, if you are a hair designer, or you can cut hair very well, if you go to a billionaire and ask like, hey, I can cut or design hairs very well, here's my idea. You cannot convince a billionaire very well. He will be looking for what system you have. If you are a very good chef and can make a lot delicious burger, then if you come up with, hey, look, I can make a very yummy burger and it will be a lot better than McDonald's, and I will sell it less than McDonald's is selling, you cannot convince him. That's because he will see, well, McDonald's has a system, you do not have this system. How many McDonald's restaurant are there, right? What system they are maintaining to do all of this business and making and running all of the business in the world? Do you have this system? What are the things you need to do for making this system? So that's what is most important to them, and what cash flow they are getting, that's the most important to them. So what I mean is, you need to work with the group of the team to make a system. I'm not talking like you will be the owner of the McDonald's today. What I mean is, regardless what's the system you are building, you need to work with attorney, CPA, and other people to make sure you are on the right track. Example, if you are basically getting 2 or 3 of the rental properties like I have, and starting from very little step, make sure you learn and follow what they are doing, because if you cannot practice the same thing when it's very small, it will be very hard for you to practice later and you will be in trouble. That's why knowing and understanding the things are very important. Otherwise, some or one of the incident may ruin all of your achievement. Thank you for watching.